thank you all. And I welcome all of you to this very exciting program. In fact, when I hear this program, HR Analytics, it really excites me a lot. And it's all about analysis and quantity. So it's a very highly interactive program. I'm sure all of you will like it. And there's a lot of takeaway for this. Okay. All right. So welcome again, once again. Let me ask you one or two interesting questions. Okay. Everybody, I want to you all to there's no right wrong answers, just wanting to know. So what's the difference between 0.9 and 0.90? There are manufacturing guys as well. I know people are working for engineering organizations, people are working for infrastructure. So what is the difference between 0.9 and 0.90? Anybody? Anil or Venkat or
Well, cannot recall of any difference. I think it should be all the same. We can keep adding zeros unless there is some kind of limitation. Put at least 2 digits after decimal. Other than that, I don't see.
No, I'm very clear. I said 0.9, then I said 0.90. Is there any difference? Okay? All right. Anuradha is thinking hard. Ma'am has asked this question. I'm sure there is something there, That's why she's asked this question. Huh? Okay. Mahendra Kumar, who is actually sitting on so much of data. Is there any difference between 0.90 and 0.9?
So, ma'am, prima facie, there is no difference, but I think the difference is in format, and 0.90 gives us scope of putting more numbers after 0.9.
Okay.
And before decimal. So that's it's just the scope of putting more numbers.
Okay.
Maybe in future.
I'll put it later. So, another simple question. What, according to you, is HR analytics? Or in your mind, see, everybody has come with that, excitement, wanting to do something for you all. Or what should HR analytics do for you individually? Think for your organization. Don't tell in general. So, what, according to you, is typically HR analytics? Or say, what should it do for you? What do you expect out of HR analytics? All of you are seasoned, tenured, with huge amount of experience.
With the data analysis, I feel we will be able to take better decisions with relevance to the business, considering the past, present, and the future. So past is what is the data which we had, and present is what is happening. And with the forecasted analysis, we will be able to do a business relevant decisions. That is
so for you, you want to take decisions, huh?
Yes. Better decisions.
We should also be able to analyze the trends, preempt seeing the data.
Somebody is saying analyze trends.
So I agree with the Venkat that it helps in decision making to optimize. We can say optimize human or people.
To optimize
human resources.
Okay. To optimize your resources, huh?
Right.
Okay. Anybody else? Last. I mean, what does it want to?
Just
I mean, what you want?
More informed.
What should it do for you?
Yeah, it should be like when taking more informed decision, we have a database available. The margin for error should be as less as possible. So we have some legacy data available based on which we can generate patterns, trends. So yeah, that helps. And of course, decision making can have some kind of insights about what may come. So a predictive kind of environment can be created using the data patterns that you have available with you at hand.
So once you go back, this is what you want to do: decisions, trends, generate patterns,
Kind of
and
the future ready. I mean,
optimize.
when we
Hmm?
have trends or patterns available, we try to make ourselves future ready that this may come. This is how the progression is happening. So yeah, we are up to it.
Okay. So say hypothetically, so you go back and say, hey, I've done the course now. So, okay. And you will go to your CPO or CPO, or you'll go to your CEO if you are reporting and say, hey, you know, I want to do analytics. I want to take decisions. I want to do trends. I want to optimize resources. Just hypothetically. So, what do you think your CEO will say, or what do you think your business leader will say? Just tell me. Avinash, think.
Ma'am, basically, uh, with this as prospect, or you can say the perception, we cannot go to the CEO because the HR analytics basically is a process to show the complete picture of the organization in all aspects to the management, where we are and what we have to do and what we need to take decisions to make in a corrective way in terms of right sizing, in terms of development, in terms of minimize absenteeism, in terms of every aspects of the like in a employees benefits or the trends where we are going to and where we need to like um, make it in a right way as per the market. There's a complete picture we need to like show the management what we can't do and not do. It's our duty to show to the management where we are in terms of all aspects and where we need to go and where is the gap
Okay.
which we needs to fill it.
So
I
you
think
go back and so hypothetically you go back and see data. Like for example, who's this who is sitting on huge Mahendra Kumar, he sits on huge amount of data. I'll think I can do this, I can do this. So when we think of
ma'am,
analytics, we
one
are
I can
thinking of
try one.
data. Yeah.
Ma'am, it
Somebody
shows
said
the
yes.
arithmetical accuracy of human resource department. Firstly,
Pardon?
arithmetical accuracy of human resource department.
Okay.
So,
Thank
ma'am,
you.
I think the ultimate goal is profitability. We do all these things for what profitability, and we need to go to CEO because we have to take their consent whatever we are going to do, and the ultimate goal of CEO is profitability.
So I asked you two questions, right? The difference between 0.9 and 0.90. In fact, some of you said it's only semantic. We don't see any difference, right? You all don't see any. And yes, there is no difference between 0.9 and 0.90. But when you talk to a production guy, when you talk to an engineering guy, he will not say 0.9. He's going to say 0.90. What does it mean? Precision. When I ask Devendra what is the attrition, he might say, 0.9%. But when you tell a production guy the quality, there is precision. He will put 0.90. Okay? The perspective, the precision. Now, when I said what should it do for you, etc. Typically, what happens? We all HR people will say, hey, we are running training programs, we are tracking metrics, L&D metrics, we are tracking attrition metrics, we are tracking performance metrics, etc. But think of this guy. Whenever there is, why do you think we are all the time fighting for a seat at the corner table? Think of the finance guy. When he comes for a meeting, he is talking about what? He's talking about the profit margins, the EBITDA, everything outcomes. What has he done, right? Anybody who has a variance with my thought can differ with my thought. The finance guy talks absolute numbers, right? This is the revenue. This is the operating expense. This is what we have made. These are the profits, etc. What does the marketing guy talk about? Tell me. Anybody? He
Maybe
talks
brand
about market
value,
share,
brand
new
value, market
products,
share, and
new
leads.
products.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He talks about market share, customer share, new customers, old customers, everything. Okay. The manufacturing guy also talks about productivity, quality, efficiency. Typically, if you see, somebody said I was in the HR business partner who, Avais, or even others, we keep on doing pulse meeting day in and day out, right? Ask any HR business partner. 30% of my time goes in pulse meetings. Agree or disagree? Huh? 10% of the time in exit interviews. Agree or disagree? We
Agree.
keep maintaining reports, we keep tracking, we did this skip level interview, we did this pulse meeting. Then again, what decisions have you taken? Again, you repeat the same things. What's the output? What's the outcome? What's the impact? The finance guy keeps throwing numbers. You ask an L&D person typically, any L&D people here? Please, no offense, sir. So you talk to an L&D person, what do you do in your role? I get the input from all the business leaders. Then I create a training calendar. Then I deliver training programs. I track. What do you track? What are your indicators, KPIs? Number of days per individual for training or number of programs done. Ask an HRBP person, pulse ratings, what is that? Activities, engagement meetings, engagement surveys. So we are actually what I don't want to use that, sucked up into what is that called? Activity trap. You agree? You ask anybody, you will always keep saying, I've done this, I'm doing this, I'm doing the report, I'm doing this. Activity trap. But when it comes to, hey, what is the impact? What is the outcome? So essentially, when I ask you this question, saying that, hey, so typically when I'm doing an HR analytics, then as an L&D head, what is that I really need to know? Tell me. What is that I really need to track, analyze? Anybody need not be an L&D person at all, but what is that? I'm investing time. I'm investing money. Time, that is people's salary time, employees who do the classroom training, etc., etc. But what is the outcome?
Application
Why
of
do
the
we do
learning
training?
outcome.
Probably the skill upgradation rate or the
ROI.
promotion, the people available
Has
for
the
promotion within
productivity
the
gone up?
organization.
Right?
Productivity.
Has the
ROI.
productivity gone up? Has the productivity gone up? Simple. Right?
Application
Or
of
if
learning.
I've sent people for leadership training program, what are you going to look at? Hey, has he actually trained some people in, has he developed some leaders?
Yeah.
If I've sent people for negotiation skills, the purchasing guy, has he reduced the, gone and done some good negotiations that, he's able to procure better cost, better. It's what we have to track. Okay. So the importance, all of you, like they said, yes, we want to go and do something. Why it is very, very critical now that HR analytics, why is everybody talking about it in today's time? Because you know that the market is so dynamic, so competitive with respect to cost, efficiency, everything. So you want to leverage and say, hey, can I take informed decisions? Because you're sitting on data. Can I take informed decisions? And can I be proactive, not reactive? Can I actually use the data and predict? So in this HR analytics course, you will be, what is that you would be really learning? So we will be having actually 6 sessions. 4 sessions will be done by me and 2 sessions to give you a better understanding. So we have actually a session only on the visualization, how do you make reports, etc., and also on the Tableau and I think other Power BI as well, so that you have a greater understanding. Okay, and so what are we going to understand? We are going to understand what is this analytics all about, and then how do I actually then identify what are those key metrics I need to track if I have to be a strategic business partner. Okay. So from where do I actually then, how do I align myself with the business so that I can be strategic? And when I'm doing HR analytics, then I can really track the right metrics. How do I do that? And then how do I actually do the quantification? How do I do the statistical treatment? Then how do I do all the predictive analysis of correlation, regressions? We'll be getting into that. So it's all about understanding analytics, understanding the right metrics through the balance scorecard, and then the quantification, and then through statistical treatment of regression, correlation, and other things, we'll also be doing the predictive analytics. And then, of course, the visualization and the Power BI. Okay, guys? Yes. And in addition to this, if you have questions, queries, I would appreciate that you be very interactive, ask questions, and that's how you will be learning a lot. Okay, is that okay with you all? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So just, you know, you can keep arguing and arguing, but then if you have data, what you are able to constructively deal with the argument, just to say. So without data is just an opinion. There is a common cliche saying that, Edward Deming said, in God we trust, but the other should bring data, right? Whenever you go to MD's meeting, if you want to say something, please present yourself and have a backup of the data. All data-driven decisions. Okay. So let us look at actually where did it all start, and very interesting, And I'm sure if you have this interest in analytics, you must have already read a little about it. There is this movie also called Moneyball, and it's a real, in fact, it's a real story. What is it all about? This is all about the baseball game. The baseball game. Okay. Now, the team Oakland A, they were the guys who didn't have much money. So they had a huge challenge, just like all of you HR people, when you want to recruit people, and the business guy will say, hey, ma'am, what I want somebody plug and play, and please get me immediately. Then person with a good amount of experience from a good company will come at a higher cost, right? And we will say, hey, but we don't have that kind of, our company does not afford to give high salaries. So we can't attract, this is the common reason everybody will give. We can't attract good talent. So similarly, the Oakland A had this problem because they were not very well funded, and they could not pay high amount to get their good talent from the market. Just like the cricket people, you have this, for you can actually buy cricketers for high amounts. Now what happened? There comes in a Harvard guy, an intern, who tells this manager, whose name is Billy Bean, he tells him, see, I've been following this game, and I know you have a financial crunch. Now, I can actually help you to win. He says, hey, how can you make us win? He says, you see, and he shows a lot of data, slice and cut the data, talks about the batting, the bowling, the strike rate, everything. And he says, it is not necessary that I should take a person who comes at a very high cost. We can take people who are also very young, who can come at a very lesser cost, and we can train them very well as per our, data analysis. And they did that. And mind you, it's called sabermetrics. And today in all the sports, they use this. And Probably in the first year they did not win, but thereafter, almost for 4, 5 subsequent years, they've been winning. So this is to say the power of analytics and how organizations today, in fact, as opposed to what 20 years ago, just 50 to 60% of the organizations are using analytics in some way or the other to help their organization to take informed decisions. Okay. So having said that, let us understand a little about, hey guys, can you tell me first of all, how did the story of analytics, how did it start? Which industry do you think it all started? Which industry? It all started with which industry? Anybody?
FMCG or sales?
Pardon?
FMCG or sales?
Okay, closer. Huh? Let me tell you. All of you have credit cards?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yes.
All of you have credit cards, no?
Credit
At
card.
least 2 or 3 credit cards you will have, right?
Yes.
Guys, it all started with the credit card industry. Why? Because this industry had high risk. They wanted customers to spend as much as possible. Okay? So they sliced and diced the data and wanted to see who are the people who can spend more, etc. And they were the ones who really used extensively this analytics. But then what happened? The insurance industry, they said, hey, we can actually then, they were the ones who actually had the best of breed of data analytics. They used it to ensure, what kind of insurances, what kind of thing. So for what kind of diseases, they were the ones which used. And thereafter, then into petrochemical, aviation, of course, can't have any, it has to be Six Sigma, zero defect, etc. So essentially, now you can understand. Then FMCG, as somebody said, so consumer data. Think of Amazon, right? What is the mission statement or the vision statement of Amazon? Can anybody tell me? Okay. Say, for example, Avinash, he thinks of buying something at 12 o'clock in the middle of the night. He can actually just say, this is what I want to Amazon. And it comes immediately in the morning. Does it come or not? Their vision statement and a mission statement, anything, anytime, anywhere.
Mm.
Imagine to fulfill that, anything. So today, even from a smallest thing like a needle to anything, you can order in Amazon. Can you? Huh?
Yes.
It can reach anywhere. So imagine then what amount of information they must be churning out, right? They need to have for their what? Logistics and distribution. So what kind of data? Think of Walmart. Does anybody know about Walmart? Yeah, Walmart. What does it do typically? It's an operational excellence company giving
Right.
good quality products at a affordable price. Okay, Walmart, just like Amazon. Now, what is their strategy? They buy up supply chains, huge supply chains, because that is what they pass off as a discounts to your customer. So imagine the amount of data they must be churning. So what I'm trying to tell you is that how organize in different industries and in different organizations, how analytics is being used to reduce your cost, bring about more efficiencies, increase product. Okay. So why should HR analytics be far behind? Okay. So in marketing, can you tell me how do you use analytics? Anybody?
I think for product design, defining customer
Yeah.
segments.
You actually do for advertisements, product design, sales, right? Forecasting, so new markets, customer satisfaction. So you do so much of analytics. Insurance business, I just talked about. Banking, slicing the data, knowing your high value customers, low value customers. In logistics, Walmart, how does it use? Manufacturing, precision. So in all these industries, functions, so they use analytics. But the advantage is that now today, if you read HR analytics is really taking the what? It is taking the lead in analytics after the COVID. They always wanted to digitize. They always wanted to automate. But what happened during the COVID times? It literally pushed them, no?
Force.
Overnight, they had to. Overnight, organizations had to start working from home. Then what do you think you could have happened? How will I have my employees working remote? Because they had no choice. So that's the time all HR, organization, the HR departments had become digitized. And I think now HR analytics has really become the lead for most of the organizations. Yeah. This is a list of where you actually do a lot of analytics, retail, financial risk, credit, etc. Okay. We're not going to now. Having emphasized on the importance of analytics and in different industries where they are being used, let me showcase you some use cases so that you can appreciate how HR analytics is being used before I actually go to the definition and how would we define analytics. Say, for example, in Starbucks, everybody knows about Starbucks. Yeah. When you want to have great coffee, huh? Starbucks, or for that matter, even there in we don't have in India, but these companies like Best Buy, electronic retail stores, they are called Best Buy. They have only what is it? Electronic goods. Now, what they did was they did a correlation and a regression exercise, that is predictive analytics, and they analyzed and tracked the data of if of all the engagement surveys and saw that if the engagement of a particular store was X, then the profit would be Y. And if it increased, they could actually say that the profits also increased. Say, for example, I'm a HRBP person and I will go to the CEO and my CPO and say, hey, I want, $10,000 to do engagement for my vertical. Will he give you the money easily? He'll say, I don't have the money. Why do you need the money? What? Okay. Why? Because he feels that what is the impact? What is the outcome? Does it translate into my profits or productivity? Nothing. But if you say, hey, if I'm going to increase 0.1% in my engagement survey, then I can actually show you that the profits or the operating income will go up. And let me tell you guys that the Starbucks and also the Best Buy companies, they could, through their data analysis, could show that there was a correlation between engagement survey index and the profit. What is engagement survey? All of you do know, once in 3 months or once in 6 months, typically once in a year, at least once in a year. All of you do, I'm sure. What do you do with the engagement survey after that? Anybody who has done an engagement survey? HRBP, I'm sure HRBP people must have done it, huh?
Yes, they would have
Because they are the people who will typically do the, huh?
Right. So we study the scores, ma'am.
Yeah, you will get the third party to do it, right?
Yes.
Gallup.
We get the third party to do it.
Gallups.
Then once we get the scores, we study the scores, we analyze, we see where the gains are, we see where the dips are, and then accordingly we connect with the teams to understand, what's working, what's not working. And that's how we further have certain interventions.
अरे I was sending the message meeting push हुआ 4 बजे को
Yeah. So, but yes, but what happened to the Starbucks and Best Buys? They've actually gone and analyzed and seen that if I increase by 0.1%, we can actually show that $100,000 will be increased in the operating income of a store. Now, another very good case. Everybody knows about Google, right? Huh? Google used to have how many rounds? Do you know earlier on? Because of the, uh, I mean, in a very short time, they had grown into a very large company, so much so that every week they were recruiting people to the tune of 200 or so. So, an extraordinary growth. And half the time, the managers are only doing interviews. Now, they did, and they are very high on HR analytics. So they did this correlation between and what the interviewing scores and the performance. What is it? Say, for example, Anuradha has interviewed 10 people. Okay. Now, when you interview, you will be giving a score, right? You can give a score on a scale of 1 to 5, maybe 2 or 3, depending on what you have interviewed for and what. Huh? Now, so those interviewing scores were correlated with the performance data. And they found that, in fact, most of the time, their managers were actually not recruiting the right people. And then, of course, they brought in a lot of changes. They made it because what happened was it was the feel good factor, what I call it as the unconscious bias of, oh, the manager was satisfied with the candidate. But ultimately, what was the outcome? That the outcome was not satisfying. That means they were not up to the mark. So, therefore, they made a change in the interview process, and they felt that there were certain kind of competencies which were very, very important for high performance. And this, through their analytics, they found that initiative testing for initiative was one of the key competencies which predicted high performance. And let me tell you guys, when you go back, you can actually do this, all this, whatever we are talking about. And we will give you tools and techniques to do this. Okay, how to go about it. AT&T also had the same thing. They also felt that, what, just by taking in people who are from very high prestigious schools, IIMs, IITs, it is not necessary that that will translate into high performers. It is something else. And that key competence, even in AT&T, was something like a drive initiative, which was key to make them high performers. So, likewise, so we talked about engagement, we talked about recruitment processes. Now, very interesting. This company called Sprint, and I'm sure, in fact, I, as an CHRO, have done many a times in most of the organizations what we call it as the early warning system. Some of you must have actually, who implements early warning system here in any of you in your organization? What does it mean? We are all concerned with attrition. No?
Yes.
Everybody, you talk about HRBP person, attrition.
Right.
And that becomes one key metric for HRBP, saying that, hey, your attrition has to be between this percentage to this percentage. Right? Now, can you arrest attrition? If, say, for example, if I know if my high performer, if I know that these are 10 high performers, and if I can predict that they are going to attrite, I can do something about it, right? So what did Sprint do? It created a platform. It created certain 10 or 15 indicators. Say, for example, what are some of the indicators when a person is wanting to leave the organization? Hmm? What are some of the indicators? Quick, guys.
Disengagement,
Huh?
disengagement in terms of work.
Absolutely.
Not
One
getting
second.
enough growth
So,
opportunity.
that disengagement will show up how? By disengagement, by lowering
Performance.
Performance or achievement.
productivity.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
Lowering,
Yeah.
you can see,
Productivity.
but lowering productivity. If a person is constantly lower, I'm not concerned about a high performer, suddenly is lowering productivity. That could be one indicator. Then
Yeah.
what else?
Lack of growth opportunity.
Hmm. So, growth opportunity. So, yes, there is a lack of growth of opportunity, but how does see then, how does that translate into behavior? See, I can't, growth opportunity is something, but what can I see? Behaviors. So, what will happen? I
Absenteeism.
may, I may take, I'll write, suddenly I'll be taking too many leaves, right? Because I'm looking out for
New
opportunities.
opportunities.
No, coming
Yes.
late. Hmm?
Yeah. Not
Too
being
much,
participative.
too much. Okay. Yeah. No participation.
No participation. Yeah.
No? Meeting, team meetings. ठीक है, चलता है. Whatever
हाँ.
you say, done. Then he might also just about the
Delay,
right.
delayed deliveries also.
Yeah. So that could be like, your performance. No?
Utilization of more leaves in the starting of the year.
Late coming. Too much time on. What is that? These days we spend a lot of time on social media.
Mobile, social
Huh?
Social
media.
media.
You will be seen all the time on LinkedIn and social media saying, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
So, what has Sprint done? They have identified through their data analysis 10 to 12 indicators, behavior indicators. Now, the HRBP has to track their high performers, okay, with a what? Green, red, and an amber light.
Okay.
Okay. So every month, when they track and they see, hey, what's happening, then they get to know at least, there will be few people they have targeted. Now, out of that, if they're able to at least retain some of them, it's a huge benefit, huge cost saver, because you don't want to recruit people, and you know how recruitment rehiring is such an expensive proposition, and especially your top performers, right? So early warning system. So Sprint actually looked at all these indicators and said, hey, if I can, so if for the managers, if they're able to predict who is going to attract, then I can probably counsel them, talk to them, and then see what is the reason, real reason. So lack of growth opportunity, or is there something else? So we can identify and then ensure that the high pots are retained. Now, Oracle also had the same thing, early warning system, and likewise do chemicals as well. So they were able to do their what is it, analytics, and were able to predict, and ensure that their employees were engaged. So these are some of the use cases where we can showcase that in organizations having done these analytics, they were able to show results which could be linked to business in terms of cost, or in terms of productivity, or in terms of profit. Okay. Having said that, we'll put again a question. In call center, typically what happens? Employees in call centers in a BPOs, Do you know in the BPOs at a lower level, there's huge attrition? Yes or no? Huge attrition. We struggle to, as a CHR of Tata business processes, we struggle to keep people. Let me tell you what happens when they are actually taking calls and such strenuous calls, etc. We did a lot of analytics. One of the key reasons for people to attrite is for their bosses, not to be warm, not to be coaching, not to be training. So typically, we also used to track under which TM is the highest attrition. You would know, because it is not because of lack of skills. People attrite, it is not, it usually attrite because the lack of warmth from the supervisor.
Right.
So these are such interesting, what is it, um, highlights when you do analytics, and when you have data, you can do a lot of analytics and reach some kind of informed uh, decisions as to, yes, my supervisors need training, more training in terms of how do I coach, how does he counsel, how is he communicating to his associates and to his TLs. Yeah. So having said that, as we talked about, so decisions are no more based on just gut feeling. So to do all this analytics, what do you need? As you all said, we need data. Without data, we can't do. Now, the interesting fact is, supposing all 10 of you are there, all my part, I'll ask you, hey, what is the headcount? This is very interesting. Every time when I used to ask for data, okay, what is the headcount today? How many versions will be there? Huh? Can you, Is it a fact?
Yeah.
Hey,
There will
what
be
is
few
our headcount
results.
today? We won't know, right? The best joke is, if I ask anybody, okay, get me the organization structure of this vertical or that, there'll be so many variations all the time. Or get me the diversity ratio. There'll be so many versions. Why? Simple attrition. Just ask for attrition. There'll be so many variations. Yes or no? Data we have. So what does it mean? One is data is very, very important. But also, have you defined how are you going to calculate your attrition? Are you going to calculate it month on month, or quarter on quarter, year to rollout of per year, or are you going to do it on a daily? Have defined that. Or for example, wage inflation. Define what are the attributes you're going to take into consideration. So as an HR person, we need to have clarity, and we need to clarify even the others. Hey, if I'm calculating attrition, this is what I'm taking into consideration. This is my formula. Let the others know, so that you actually stick to one formula. Not that A is doing A, what one business is doing attrition a different way, another business is doing another way. So have a common understanding. So data, let me tell you guys. So we in HR, we are sitting on data, but ask for any report, there'll be so many versions of it. Because why? We'll be operating with 10 Excel reports and 10 spreadsheets and something. No. So first of all, ensure that, yes, is my data correct? From where is this data coming? Okay. So having said that, how will you define? So if I were to ask you, how will we define what is analytics? How will we define analytics? So very simple. No? That means it's a systematic quantification, identifying and quantification of the people drivers. So people drivers is what the data which is coming from talent acquisition, like recruitment, which is coming from performance management, which is coming from induction, onboarding, compensation, exit, entire employee cycle processes. And how are they linked with the business outcomes? You'll agree? Or any other version? So just to tell you, so we're using a lot of analytical techniques and treating them with the data so that we can optimize our HR processes and impact the business outcomes. So when we talk about the impacting the business outcomes, what does it go? What is very, very important? I'll just the most important thing is that profit. We're talking about profit, we're talking about cost, and we're talking about productivity. Now, most of you might talk about what is this human capital, what is talent analytics. Let me tell you, they are all interchangeable. They're mostly the same. All right. But precisely so, when we talk about HR analytics, is mostly about recruitment, L&D, performance management, compensation. When we talk about talent analytics as such, we are talking more in terms of development, L&D, etc. And when we're talking about strategic workforce analysis across the organization, in fact, it is a question of increasing productivity. We also look at a lot of other metrics as what is it? Wage inflation, cost per employee, etc. But they are all interchangeable. So you should not get confused with saying that somebody is saying, "Hey, we are doing talent analytics, people analytics, workforce analytics." By and large, they mean the same. They're interchangeable. Okay. I want to talk about this. Can you tell me where all can analytics be used in the HR, in HR? Quick. Yeah. Where all can we use analytics?
I think staffing to begin with, then the performance management parameters, workforce planning.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Where
Attrition,
all?
employee engagement.
Okay. So we can use it in employee engagement. All right.
Planning the employee benefits well.
Absolutely. Benefit planning. Very important. Yeah. Then quick. You all know so many areas. Look at the entire employee cycle. What about recruitment?
Yeah.
Any special programs like, let's say, campus recruitment or any specialized recruitment?
Right. In fact, recruitment, entire thing, right from
We can
requisition
also
to
use this in
Right
sourcing
from requisition
channels,
to
sourcing
DNI,
channels, every step,
diversity, inclusion.
screening, selection, offer to
recruitment cost.
acceptance ratio,
Skill assessment,
joining.
skill validation, and onboarding
You can look,
processes.
yeah. So you can look at all that. We will talk about it. In fact, we'll help you to do and how we can do that. Okay. And then what else? Performance management.
Performance
Time,
management. Yes.
Absolutely,
office, time and
performance
shift.
primary. Yep. Maybe attrition related
Performance
analysis as
management.
well.
What is that we can track?
Time and
How can we
shift,
use
time
analytics?
office,
Pardon?
time and
iPods.
shift, time office.
Okay, yeah, very important. Time office. Yep. Yeah. One
And even
last one.
in performance, I believe the performance and the behavior ratings which are there, cycle by cycle, the progress of the individual on those ratings.
Absolutely. You can actually do a lot of analysis on the ratings, etc. So we'll go deeper and deeper just to get a uh, understanding as to where, so that you all can understand where do we do. Yeah. So employee retention, sales performance, we can do leadership, customer retention, etc. There are many areas you can add them, but these are some of the things we just started. Okay. What are the benefits I talked about? Cost, performance, and productivity. These are actually very key to the organization in terms of cost and performance, because then they add up to the EBITDA. When you increase your performance, they will add up to your revenue. They will increase your productivity, they'll add up to your revenue. So these are the three things which can actually differentiate organization in terms of cost and quality, efficiency, etc. Okay. evolution of because of the time constraints, I don't want to take much time on the evolution, but I'll just give you an insight into the evolution of HR analytics. It was not that analytics wasn't there at all. I don't know how many of you have studied MSW HR programs. Do you remember this person called Frederick Taylor? Huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Frederick Taylor of
Yes,
scientific
ma'am. In
management.
principles of management.
Huh? Scientific management. Huh? During the World War times, he was the one who actually did a lot of work with respect to time and motion study, etc., etc. And he, in fact, partnered with Ford, and he said, "Hey, you can improve efficiency." And he was the one to bring about organizational effectiveness. Started looking at certain measures. So measures are nothing but what? Metrics, right? Huh?
Metrics.
So then thereafter, then quantitative analysis was done to make decisions during the World War. Then, of course, I'm sure everybody knows about Dave Ulrich HR metrics. He came up with the HR metrics scorecard, where he said it is HR is not supposed to be activity oriented, but we need to look at what outcomes, impact, business outcomes. And then I'm sure everybody knows about this a very interesting book, written by Fitz, and he actually came up with this measurement of human resources. This is also a very interesting book, and of course the Balance Scorecard by Robert Kaplan and David. Who is familiar with this? Somebody said already tracking that. This is a very interesting balance scorecard is a measurement management measurement scorecard which measures right from top to bottom and helps the organization actually through a strategic map how it aligns the L&D with the business outcomes so that they are able to achieve them. And we will be doing that in detail tomorrow, and you'll have a great appreciation for this interesting balance scorecard. How does it get translated to the last mile of the business has a certain business objective, but how does that get translated, how does that get cascaded down so that you can actually then aggregate it at the end of the year from the bottom and see have we achieved those results. Okay, so this is a little background. Now when we talk about analytics, there is something called types of analytics. Now here when we talk about, can you see my slide, all of you, very clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So when we talk about type of analytics, it doesn't mean that you have a choice of doing one of them. No, but they actually I mean, this is like they you can't do something like a prescriptive analytics right at the beginning. So you have to start from the lowest rung. So if you can notice, there are two dimensions: complexity and value. Can you see complexity and value? So there are four types of analytics: descriptive. I'll just take a moment to also make you understand. Descriptive, diagnostic, predictive, and prescriptive. Okay. Now, when we looked at 20 years back, I said 20 or 30 years back. So we were like, the pizza vendor. The HR. So business came to the HR and they said, "Hey, we want 10 people, or we want, this program to be done." So we were only like, service provider. You agree? We were just like a service provider. You go to a pizza shop and say, "Hey, I want this pizza." It's like that, rolling out pizza. Now, what have we started doing? So, the first level of analytics is called the descriptive analytics, and I'm sure some of you are already doing it. So, at a descriptive level, if you see that the complexity is not much in doing this, and therefore the value is also proportionate to that. And so the word descriptive means, what is it? You are actually looking at what happened. Okay. Say, for example, your CEO wants to know, "Hey, what is the attrition like?" So you will just look at the attrition. You will look at, hey, last year, what was the attrition, and say, or last year, what was the engagement activity, or last year, what was the performance. So everything past data. So what happened? Reporting. You get me? Very
Hmm.
clear. Just give me a thumbs up. So you are just reporting. It's called descriptive. So typically descriptive is what happened. So how will you show? You may show your reports like a pie chart or a bar chart or a line graph saying that you will go, no, this is the head count, this is the number of programs we have done, this is what is the performance levels. So you are reporting. But nothing is happening. Again, you go back next year, again you are reporting, or month on month you are reporting. So you're not taking much, nothing's happening. But when you look at diagnostic, what is diagnostic as the word suggests? You are looking at a little deeper complexity. Oh, why did it happen? Right? You are saying, why did
To
it
check,
happen?
to diagnose,
Ah,
to check,
so you are
to examine.
diagnosing. So that means you are drilling down. Say, for example, suddenly you are so you are reporting recruitment costs by position wise or vertical wise or whatever, and you are seeing that the costs have gone up. So you are
Hmm.
drilling
Cost
down.
of
Say, hey,
overrun.
why the costs have gone up? Has the market gone? I mean, market median has gone up, or you're not getting skill set at that particular time, or suddenly the labor market, the demand for that particular skill has gone up. So you're trying to find out, no, drilling down. Or for example, the performance level has gone up, gone down. Why has it gone down? Maybe because the new hire came with the less kind of a skill set, the not right kind of skill set. So therefore, the performance has gone down. Okay, so you are understanding. So this is now this can be done how when you're doing analytics, you can do correlations. We'll come to correlations. That means you're taking two variables and saying, hey, I'm giving number of training programs. Does that correlate with the performance? Is there any correlation?
Performance.
No, you're doing data mining. So the more number of people who are absent, does it correlate with the performance? Huh? Or people are coming on time and going on time? That means attendance. Does it correlate? So you are doing correlations. Huh? So you are taking two variables and correlating them. You are looking at you are doing data mining, etc. Okay. Now the next level is predictive analytics. As the word suggests, it's much more complex. What does it mean? What is that?
You're predicting the future.
What can happen? Likely to happen? Predicting. In fact, predictive analytics was being done hugely by the marketing guys, sales forecasting, right? Huh? So predictive analytics, can you tell me where can we use in HR predictive analytics?
Attrition.
Attrition. Yeah.
How?
Even I think in recruitment we already do that predictive index thing just to measure personalities and their inclinations. The skill fitment, basically skill and all that fitment. And
Predictive
again,
analytics. Huh?
Workforce,
So
workforce
actually,
number forecasting.
yeah. So when you're doing predictive analytics, you are taking a lot of data, then you are seeing the trends, and then using correlation, regression, you are doing statistical modeling. Say, like, for example, very simple example. So I'm doing a lot of training programs. Okay. Um, so one particular sales program. Okay. Um, we actually did this. Classic example, increase sales performance always. So the business leader will say, hey, give them sales training in product knowledge. Or somebody will say, give them in communication. Okay. So typically, okay, let us take this example. So typically, if you were to do this to increase the sales performance, so all of you are L&D managers. You are having a meeting with the business head, marketing guy, and the HR person is also there. So typically, what will you do? I mean, what are some of the things we can list to increase the sales performance? The marketing guy will say product training. No,
Yes.
okay. Typically, the HR person will say communication training. Huh? Somebody will say what? What else? Huh?
Lead generation training.
So can I put it as yeah, sales lead generation, huh? Okay.
Crucial
Sorry.
conversations.
Or somebody will say body language, huh?
Shadowing.
Putting, huh? Somebody will say, okay, I said. Now, so maybe I come in there and somebody will say, okay, fine, you do the product training to the training manager. So I'm the training consultant who's doing the product training. Got it? Then you have taken all the data, but your sales have not increased. Who will be blamed? Huh? Nirmala will be blamed because I've done
Training.
product training, but no sales. Huh? But how do you know? Actually, product training was the key competency which was required to increase sales. Was there a correlation? Right? So, what could we do? We could actually conduct what H- analytical studies, taking what people's data, huh? Say target versus achieved data, and taking them through all these, some of these, and giving them tests, and then looking at those scores and saying what impacts, is there a correlation? What impacts the sales performance? And then you can predict, saying that by increasing 0.1 or by increasing 1 unit of training in, say, communication, you can actually bring about 100 units of increase in the sales performance. Predicting. That's called predictive analytics. Okay. Through, we will be doing that. How you can predict. So we will be doing correlation and regression exercises through which we can do. Okay. Or so we can use in many of HR areas predictive analytics. Okay, through forecasting patterns, trends, etc. Now the last level, highest level is prescriptive analytics. Anybody has a clue on prescriptive analytics? What it is? Anybody?
Uh,
Huh?
I guess it is need-based. I mean, where you need to be precise. There's a problem which is arise, and we are trying to take a decision about any specific subject.
Give you an example. I'll give you an example first. Okay. So, say for example, I have to hire people. There are different locations. All right. But there is a particular location where I cannot send people there because that is a remote location. So what I will do, I'll say, hey, a prescription saying that all remote locations, I will go by the policy of using local people for recruitment. Generalized. Okay. Looking at all my data, looking at all that. So I will generalize it. For example, another example. Somebody gave me an example. Somebody was talking about it. In a recruitment, what can be a prescription? Saying that for high performers to retain, because through my analytical study, I've noticed that there is a requirement of professional development. So I will ensure that all my high performers, this is the budget for professional development. Are you getting me?
Yep.
So I actually translate them into some kind of a policies. You will notice that in many people. Like for example, I will look at, hey, my quality is going down. Why is it going down? Everybody should be a certified Six Sigma certified. With a lot of analytics, I will do all that study. I'll say yes, everybody should go in for Six Sigma so that not much of variance in my quality of production. Okay.
Okay.
But then how do you come to that conclusion? Not just like that. You are using diagnostic analytics and predictive analytics and then prescribing. Okay. Like for
Nirmala,
example, again, another example I'll give you for prescriptive.
just a simple example in a one-liner related to predictive, prescriptive, and diagnostic. I mean, very simple way if you have to explain. But this is diagnostic, this is predictive, and this is prescriptive.
Yeah. Okay. Um, 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 You want me to give a simple example of
Yeah,
prescriptive?
very simple example of these analytics, descriptive analysis, diagnostic, predictive, and prescriptive.
Yeah, diagnostic analysis. All right. So, say for example, I have a very high attrition as an example. What will you do? Descriptive is just giving attrition rates. So when it comes to diagnostic, what will you do? You'll find out all, you'll go down the reasons and what months are you actually having attrition, at what levels are you having attrition, under what manager are you having attrition. Are you with me?
Yes, got it.
Huh? So you are drilling down the problem as to what is it, right? Huh? And
Yes.
then what is predictive analytics? Then you looked at it, we'll only look at attrition. Okay. Then you're looking at attrition saying that, hey, now with, you know, the, what is it, performance, uh, people who are attrited. I'm taking a list of 10 or 15 performers. Okay.
You're talking about the
Just
trend which has been
Yeah.
going on from the
So
past.
here's the performance going down. So I'm looking at trends and then I can predict suddenly, hey, that when a person who's a top performer, if he continuously drops down his productivity, that means, so this is like early warning system. Can I come out with certain key behaviors which indicate and predict that this is the person who is going to really hit, right? So can I do something about it? Because if it comes suddenly, you can't manage. But if you know that this guy is going away, at least you will counsel him, coach him, what is his problem, understand it, and then maybe you can help him to be retained. Got it?
Yeah, got it.
Okay. Now, when it comes to prescriptive, so when you're talking about attrition, if you have identified there is one factor which is actually causing attrition, maybe I'm taking a much younger workforce and I'm not giving them sufficient professional development. Because let me tell you, not everybody is motivated with the same kind of benefits, right?
Exactly.
As a youngster, I'm looking at. So if you're targeting that kind of, so I'll say, hey, all these people, that's why you'll see a lot of policies being drawn up. In fact, today benefits are also not what is it? I mean, one solution for everybody. No. So you are actually trying to customize it and look at the preferences and then go by, preferences in terms of genders, preferences in terms of age, preferences in terms of likes and dislikes. You are looking at surveys, pulses, and then designing your benefits. Okay. And if you want more about this, definitely I'm going to send you a very interesting article. And if you have the time to read, please read. Okay, guys?
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Okay, welcome back. So just to give you a little wrap up of what we did and a recap of what we did in the last 1 hour is understanding what is HR analytics and its relevance to different industries, how is it being applied, and then the definition of HR analytics, looking at anybody who can recall what is, if I were to define analytics, HR analytics, anybody? Quick, keep you all awake and to keep you all engaged. Yeah, I can see, what is it? Whose face? Huh? Hey, anybody? So how will you define analytics, HR analytics? In simple words, you're looking at a lot of data, right? Yeah. And then quantifying the data and using all processes, analytical processes and data which is bought from business, your entire employee life cycle data, and then trying to make meaningful and also what informed decisions about your human resource management, whether it be it recruitment, performance management, whatever be it. Now, so we looked at even types of analytics. We looked at descriptive. We looked at what, why, prediction, and prescriptive. Now, typically, when we look at the process of analysis, it has 5 steps. 5 stages: identification, collection, cleaning of the data, analyzing, and interpreting. When I talk about identifying, what does it mean? Like all of you want to get back, and when you really wanting to start something, what do you need to look at? Hey, it's always better to start at the low hanging fruit. That is one one key business problem, and then link it up with the HR data. So identify the problem, collect the data, relevant data. Okay, you can collect it from various sources. Then see if the data is clean. When I say clean, what does it mean? Guys, what does it mean? Clean the data? What does it mean? Clean the data? Huh?
Means any
Remove
data,
standard
duplicacy
format.
data and all.
Because when you want to
Removing any
analyze, it has to have,
unwanted
right?
numbers.
It can't have duplicacy of records. For
Right.
example, have you noticed when you're looking at your demographics, the educational qualifications, somebody will say bachelor's of something. The same thing will be again different variations. There will be so many variations. So you really need to look at, because when you're going to analyze the data, it will not give you accuracy. Okay. So then analyze using various techniques. Okay. And then interpret, make interpretations, and then you can also use various charts and graphs for visualization. Now, when you want to do analytics, you have to understand data. We're talking about data. Data is very, very critical, right? So when we talk about data, then we begin to look at, say, for example, these numbers 12, 19, 17, 15. This is all data. Now you want to translate this data into information. So this is a list of data where you have, So the two types of data. What is it? Numerical data or quantitative data and qualitative data. Please give me example of a quantitative data. Quick.
Number of employees, that all the
Yes,
rate,
quantitative numbers, right?
the rates, the numbers.
Age of employees, no? Now, this quantitative data, it is two types. One is called the discrete data, and the other is called the continuous data. Now, what is discrete data? It is all in rounded numbers, number of employees, age of employees. Okay. What is continuous data? It has what? It is continuous in terms of what? It will have, like for example, when we talk about continuous data, it is like temperature, salary range, etc. So that's called continuous data. Okay, though we don't use so much of the continuous data. Now, when we talk about qualitative data, there are two kinds: nominal data and ordinal data. What is nominal data? It's like male, female. Ordinal data is what? In qualitative, when you do a engagement survey, it will be, satisfied, not satisfied, or good, poor, average, good, excellent. Okay, so that is called ordinal data. Now, can you convert that ordinal data into quantitative data?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, maybe bringing percentages and ratios.
Simple performance management.
Yes.
You have what? Qualitative data, which is also assigned with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's a scale. No? Let us quickly look at certain examples of qualitative data and quantitative data. Quantitative data, numerical terms, can be shown in numbers. Okay. And qualitative data is all what? It is male, female, fair skin, etc. So it's all which is related to qualitative terms.
Qualitative.
Now, age, height, weight, income, all this is quantitative data. But look at qualitative data: gender, religion, marital status, native language, etc. Like happiness rating. Can you convert it into quantitative data? Yes. Okay. So eye colors, you can translate that into what is it? Quantitative data. So you have to have an understanding of quantitative data and also qualitative data. Next, let us look at when you have data in your organization, can you make out anything? Say, for example, performance scores, a list of data. So can you make out anything? You can't make out anything. So you need to now understand certain statistical terms to analyze. So the most common things are like, say, for example, central tendency, mean, median, mode. Is everybody familiar with mean, median, mode?
Yes.
What is a mean? When I say mean of a
Average.
data, what is it?
So the calculated average,
It's
I mean,
the
total of number divided by the count.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
average.
Huh? Sum it up,
Average.
it's called the arithmetic mean or the average. So everybody
Yes.
knows about it. Average. Okay. So whenever you are looking at, say, the height of your class, and they'll say, hey, what is the average height? You will actually sum up all the boys' heights and then divide it by the
divided by
number
the total.
of total. Okay. What is median?
Middle point of a data set.
Middle
Midpoint.
point of
Midpoint,
the
yeah.
data sorted in a
Absolutely.
certain order,
Absolutely.
ascending or descending.
Absolutely. Is that because median is something very important and we would be using a lot. So just to, let me give you a little more. Okay. Say example, I have 12, 8, 4, 15, and 13, and 16. Okay. So what will be my median here? How will we do this?
You have to arrange this in order first, I believe, 4, 8, 12, that way.
Ascending
So
order.
typically what happens, median means it's called the midpoint or the
Midpoint.
middle. Okay. But it has a discipline. What does it mean? That you have to arrange your data in either ascending order or the reverse order. Right?
Reverse order.
Ascending order or descending order.
Descending
Ascending
order.
order.
So what happens? 4. In fact, when you do in Excel, you can actually use your that one to make it,
4, 8, 12,
12,
lowest to
13,
13,
highest or
15,
15,
highest to
16.
16.
okay. So 4, 8, and after that
12,
12,
13,
then 13, and then
then 16.
15, 16.
15, and then 16. The formula is simple. N plus 1 divided by 2. Okay. Equal to what is that? So N is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 counts, right?
6. Yeah.
6 plus
1.
1. I'm so sorry. 1. Then equal to how much is it?
7.
6 plus 1 is 7 divided by
2. 3.5.
So where are you now? 1, 2, 3. So you 7 by 2 is 3.5.
3.5.
3.5.
So what does it mean? Now this is an even number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 plus 1, 7. So which is the odd number, right? So there is a tie. Huh? No, we got it wrong here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6, yeah. So there is a tie between the third number and the fourth number. So what would be the median? 15 plus 4 is 19. So 19 divided by 2 again is how much?
Okay.
How much? Quick, yeah. 90
And we
divided
have
by
to
2 is how much?
do from ascending orders
90
numbers or the
depends.
first one?
I'm so sorry, I'm not 1, 2, 3. By oversight. Third and the fourth. So 12 plus 13 is how much?
25.
25.
25 divided by 2,
12 and a
12.5.
half.
12.5.
Pardon?
12 and a half.
12.5.
Yep.
Yeah, 12.5 is the median. But today's times, you can just look at data, put the formula median, but you should know also how it is. Yeah? So that is why I'm explaining it. Okay. Now, where do you use median data? And why do you use median data? That's important. No? Say, for example, when I'm actually doing an average, so say that I have 5 people, 10, 12, 15, again 10, and I'm taking an average. The average or the mean will be closer to these data points, right? But if I have a very big number like a 50, then what will happen? The average is not going to represent the right value because there's an outlier.
Right.
So at that point of time, the median will give me a better understanding of my data. So typically, when I'm doing a compensation benchmarking, we
Benchmarking.
benchmarking, typically we use median data. Okay. Yeah. So we will be doing, we'll look at data and then you'll be understanding better. So what is mode? The highest, the number which appears highest. Okay. So I'll just show you if there is, yeah, we will have that. So simple. Say, for example, let us look at here, 5 plus 5 plus so and so, so. So what is the average here? Or what is the mean here? 7. Okay. Okay, let me ask, what is the mode here? What is the mode in these numbers?
5.
5.
5. So what does it mean? The
Frequency
data
of
point
same
which
number for
appears,
number of times.
which appears the greater number of times. What is the range? What is the range? When I say what is the salary range, what do you take into consideration?
5 to 14.
No. So, yeah. So, range is min and max.
In,
So,
in
max
max.
minus min. So, max is 14, min is 5. So, range is 14 minus 5.
5.
So typically when we use, we use a lot of calculations in salary, and I'm sure some of you have done compensation. So when we talk about the width of the range, that is the salary range, so we have to then use max minus min. Okay? Yeah. So again, a lot more data, but I'm sure everybody knows about what we are going to use. Median. Okay, let me come to range, What is variance? Anybody who has an idea about variance? What is variance? I'll show you what is variance. Variance is the way the data is distributed. Okay? The way the data is distributed. Now, if you can see this data which is distributed, can you tell me, can you recall what is this curve called typically?
Bell curve. Maybe.
This is a bell curve, perfect bell curve, where the mean is equal to median is equal to mode. All mean, median, mode values are the same. But can you see here that the curve is skewed a little here to the right side? So this is called skewness. When you calculate skewness, it will give you. So this is skewed data, right? Skewed data. And this tail is towards the negative. So this is called the negative left skewed data. Okay. Is everybody able to see
Yes.
this?
Yes.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. So you have the sheet. If you have the sheet, right?
Yes.
So just keep it on your desktop. All right. I hope all of you have downloaded one tool called the data analytics tool.
Yes.
Have you all
Yes.
downloaded that tool?
Yes.
Everybody, is there anybody who has some challenge in downloading that tool? None? Very easy. Can you see my screen? Go to
Yes.
file, then use options. Okay. Then go to add-ins. Now you can see called analysis tool pack. Click on that. Okay. Then say okay. Then my data, 1 second. Can you see a small icon here, data analysis? On my screen, my arrow is also there. Can you see that?
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah. So when you look at data like this, tell me, can you make out anything? Can you make it into information? Yes, no?
Yes.
You can make out something.
Yep. There's a
So,
slight breakup, the experience profiling a bit, and
so you can just see, okay, I know I have under these headers, employee data, I have hiring data, I have salary, bonus, overtime, department, etc., etc. But if you want to make it into a meaningful information, then you will have to use what? Some analytical tool. So typically, this is the basic thing. So you want to understand what does the descriptive statistics like, what does the data look like in terms of mean, median, mode, etc. So what will you do? Typically, go to this data analysis. Got it? Then can you see this? There is something window open and then I can see descriptive statistics. Yeah, click on that. Can you see now what has come up? So I'll pull this side a little. Okay. Now I want to look at how does this performance score look like? What does it mean? What is its mode? What is it median? Okay. Now what will I do? Input range. So what do I need to do? I'll just okay. Is it correct? Yeah. Labels. Then output. I will say I want it here. Second, something has happened to my okay. Okay, that's my output range. Now I'll ask for summary statistics. Confidence level 95%. K. That's all. Right? Then say okay. Can you see the data?
yes.
Can you see, guys? What can you see? For my performance scores, okay? For my performance scores, what is the mean? Mean of the data? That means an average performance score.
Average.
What is the average performance score is? 3.18.
180.
Whatever. Okay. Yeah. So let us look at first mean. The median is there. The mode, which is high, I mean, the number which is appearing frequently highest. Then the standard deviation. Then have you noticed skewness? So this skewness is all about, it's not a perfect bell curve. So it has minus 0.18. That means it is a little negatively skewed. Okay. Now,
Left.
what is the range? Pardon?
leftward skewed.
Yeah, yeah. Then what is the range? 4. That means the range is like, how do you calculate range? Maximum minus
Minus
Max
minimum,
minimum.
minus
which is
min.
maximum is 5 and minimum is 1. So 4. Sum is sum total of all performance scores of everybody, the population. Counters 49. Largest is again 5 and smallest is 1 with a confidence level of 95%. So guys, when you do this, you get a sense of how is this data represented
And
in
what is
basic
the standard
statistical
error?
terms.
This
Yeah.
number 2, the row number 2 is
Pardon?
standard error. What is this
Pardon?
row number 2? Row number 2 standard error. What is this?
1 second. 1 second. I can't
Right,
hear you.
right below the mean.
Uh,
Number 2.
Huh?
Standard error.
Mean. Standard error.
Yeah.
What is
Standard
it?
error. Yeah. What is standard error? I haven't taught you that sampling. Now, when you're doing analytics, sometimes you're taking the entire population. Got it? Huh?
Right.
Or sometimes you are taking many different samples. So what is standard error? Standard error is that it determines that error which when you are taking different samples, this is the error which can come, which is like 0.1. Okay. And standard deviation is the same thing but pertaining to just one sample of data. That means the distance between mean and every data point. Are you with me?
Yep.
Okay. So, but I don't want to get into that too much because you don't use so much. You use mostly mean, median, mode, a range, etc. So I didn't want you to get complicated. But as we keep going, then wherever necessary, I will then delve deeper into it. Okay. Now
But
I
ma'am,
want you all to,
it will be
yeah.
required to understand as well for standard errors. Somewhere, if we just present some data to the company or to the CEO, definitely if he or she would not be aware of what the standard error is, so we can elaborate well what exactly it is and how it's important to for that particular data.
Uh-huh. Absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely.
ma'am, I agree. I
So,
would request you to, explain each of these parameters or entry. That would be really great.
I will, but at this point of time, I want to you to just focus on mean, median, mode, etc. But as we go on, whenever we are using, I will use data to explain to you and show that diagram so that you are able to understand better. Is
If
that okay with
possible,
you all?
ma'am, if possible, you can share maybe some examples which you can study it our own and maybe discuss it further.
Yeah, absolutely. I will do that. So, first of all, a quick, I want you all to, first of all, I will definitely give you a good understanding on that right away. But can all of you open that data sheet and now do descriptive statistics for one is for, I have already done the performance score, but you can do it again. Okay. And I also want you to do for sick day. Okay.
Ma'am,
Guys,
Meghna here, I need a bit of help. I'm basically not getting that data analysis, icon. I'm getting a different one. So, before we go into that exercise, I just needed help so that I'm able
so
to
I'm
take care
to
of it.
close this. Can you show can you put it on, share it, and I'll help you if I can?
Yeah, just a minute.
Yeah.
So I am on the options in the file in add-ins, and you said,
1 second. 1 second.
is it
Add-ins. You have come to
visible?
add-ins. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Now click on analysis toolpack. Click on that.
I
Okay.
clicked on it.
Now, now
Okay,
say okay. Now say okay.
yeah. So I'm
All
getting
right.
this one, analyze data. So I don't know whether it's the right one.
No, 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 no. Uh, 1 second. Click on that, but because it is not. Click on that. No, no. Okay. Can we do it again?
No,
Another
but this will come under data tool,
Under
no?
data icon.
Under data icon, yeah.
So what we can do is you can also just click on the data and see if it. Just click on the
Yeah,
data.
I did that, but
No, no,
You
there
did
was
not get.
mistake. Can you do it again? Go to file.
Yeah. Can you just do it
okay.
again?
Options, add-ins.
Can you
No,
do both?
not
You
there,
just
not
need to
there,
Google.
not there, not okay, not there. Here, under manage,
Here, data,
manage,
manage. Okay.
You have
What is it?
not
add in,
data, add-ins.
add in,
Add-ins.
Add-ins it has to be.
add in,
Then you can see analysis tool pack here. You
add
can see
in.
that. I can see
Analysis tool pack.
analysis
Yeah,
tool
it
pack.
is there.
Yeah,
VBA.
This
click
one.
on that. Not the
VBA?
other one, not
First
VBA.
one. First
Click on
one.
analysis. Now go to this Excel add-ins. Sometimes you go to Excel add-ins and say go. No,
Manage,
go down. Go down.
bottom.
Ha,
Okay,
ha,
go.
ha. And just say, yeah, and then say go. And then say okay. Ah,
You have to
analysis
pick
tool
the
pack.
first one.
Okay.
Yeah, now I'll find. Yeah.
Now
Now
go to
just click
data.
on data, you will get it. You just click on data now.
I am on data.
Click on that and then you will get it because it showed. So sometimes what
No,
happens?
she
Yeah.
had to tick it, I think. She has not ticked it. When the second box came, she had to tick it.
Yeah,
Can you
she
do that
didn't.
again?
She didn't select it
She
actually.
didn't select it.
Select that thing. Yeah.
Go back and do it again.
Add-ins. Go. Select and okay. Select this now.
Now it will come.
Cool. Thanks, Atanvi.
Came
Yeah.
now.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Got it? Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
got
I
it,
can see
ma'am.
yours. Yeah,
Yeah,
I can see
yeah.
it.
Correct.
All right. Yeah. Now
Thank
please do
you.
it for 2. So after you have downloaded that, now you have the data sheet, right?
You're right.
Yes, data sheet is
Right.
Yeah.
available.
So I want you to look at sick. Okay, let me open my sheet. 1 second. Okay. Now I want you to look at salary
Hmm.
and also sick days.
Okay.
And if you want, you can do once again performance scores so that you get a feel of, how to do descriptive statistics. Right. Please let me know once you have done. Just give me a thumbs up and we can actually look at 1 or 2 people who have done. Okay.
Ma'am, I'm done now.
You're done? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you want to showcase it? I will stop this. Yeah. Okay. This column 1 is for which one? Which data?
That's for performance.
For performance. All right. Okay. Performance mean and
Yeah. And the second one
median.
is for
Median and standard deviation. Variance, skewness, range, minimum, and the second one. Yeah, this second one is for which data you've done? Is it for sick leave or is it for?
yeah, it's for sick leave. Yeah, the second
It's a
one.
sick leave.
Yeah.
Okay. Median. Minimum, maximum. Count 50. Okay, good. Let me just, yeah, good.
So I'll stop sharing.
Yeah. Let me
No,
also
actually,
look at.
ma'am, I just want to understand because in my sheet, I'm doing a similar way. It's not, results are not coming in the same way.
Who is this?
So, Avinash, ma'am.
Avinash, would you
Um,
like to share?
Yes, ma'am. I'm sharing the shared options. This is a sheet. Are you able to see, ma'am?
Yeah. Make
Okay.
it little bigger so that we can help you with the. So where is your data tool?
This is the data tool.
I can't see it anywhere here.
This data analyze.
Not analyze data. It should have data analysis.
Go to the data tab. Data tab.
So go
Data.
Go to data tab and
Data
there it
analysis
is.
is
Yeah.
on the right.
Okay, got it.
Now you will get
Then-
it. Now you will get it, Avinash. But you can do it here. I
Okay.
won't prompt.
Do I need to select this one, performance, first?
First, you need to actually not select that. First, you go to data analysis tool. Click on that. Now go to descriptive statistics. Click on that.
Do I need to okay?
Yeah, descriptive statistics. If you click and okay, now what you do, pull it to a side so that your scores are covered, right? This window, take it to one side. So, now input range. So you are looking at performance scores, right? So drag that data. Okay. Just check, I mean, whether your rows or cells are correct. Input data. It must be correct. Okay. Now, label in the, you wanted labels, you can put labels in the first row. Click on that. Labels in the first row. Now, you want output range. Your output range is actually what here you want it your output in the same sheet, or you want it in a new worksheet?
Same sheet, ma'am.
So click on that.
Output range.
Now click on that wherever that arrow is, no? Click on that output. Click on that blank. Then move your thing because you want it in the same sheet. No? Now you have to move that window and go to either L, M, wherever you want the data to be showcased. So you have to pull that window because it's blocking. You want it there? Click that. And then go there. It will automatically, it has taken your data. Now you want summary statistics. Click on that.
Okay.
Then confidence level, click on that 95%.
Okay.
Then K largest and smallest, click on that.
K and smallest also.
Okay, now say okay.
Now it's came.
Okay.
Understood.
Got it?
Got it, ma'am.
Yeah. So now you do for one more. You do for either bonus, or you could do for salary data. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Okay, guys. So we'll just, yeah, everybody's done. I can see some thumbs ups, and I hope everybody was able to do.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Mahinder, Venkat, anybody who has a challenge? Okay, done. Can we proceed now?
Yes, please.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So there were 2 or 3 things. So in the next data, when we have a huge amount of data to compare, one is skewness, the other is standard deviation, okay, and then variance. So with the help of data, I will explain in much more in detail, and you would also be required to do some kind of a breakout activity. So that's the point. That's the time when I will go deep into those 3 terms. All right? Because if I'm going to tell you now, you might get a little confused. Is that okay with you all? Yes, no?
Yes, ma'am.
And before that, I will also send some reading material so that I'm then able to relate to you all faster. Okay. We looked at how can data be represented, converted into information. We looked at some statistical, descriptive statistics, mean, median, mode, etc. Now, you also need, many a times, what kind of samples to take, So sampling is also very, very important in HR analytics. Because, like, for example, if you have a huge population, you can't take the entire thing. So typically a reasonable sample is 20% of that population. Okay. Normally what we say, 20% of that population. You select 20%. Now, all the data points may not be the same. You might have lot of different kinds of data. Like say, for example, there's a population of male, female, etc. So other than taking 20% of the population, there are also certain other kinds of sampling. What are they? This is the simple population. So one is called the random sampling. I'm sure all of you have heard of random sampling. What is random sampling? Anybody who has a little idea about random sampling?
Just mean
Anybody?
like now we can just pick any data randomly.
There is no
like in-
order. I will
There is
take
no
any.
order, there is no categorization. So
Randomly
that's all.
I will pick up. See, in a class of 20 people, I'll say I'll just pick up any at random 5 people and say, hey guys, you 5 come, like I can pick up 10 from the batch of 10 people. I'll say I'll pick up randomly 2 people and say you will need to make a presentation on HR analytics. Like that, random. Okay. Now, when I say systematic sample, what does that mean?
I think we put some orders in that, some
Then
criterion.
that means I'm going to put order. That means every second count I will take, right? So I'm going to take every second count 2, 4, 6, 8, that way. So what does the systematic sample say? So I will actually put a what? An order there.
In order
I
there.
can take after every 5 numbers I will take. After every 2 numbers, so, or after 3 numbers. So that's called a systematic sampling. What is stratified sample? Stratified sample is very, very simple. What does it mean? Say, for example, I have 3 people, a population of, 3 people from, say, Lucknow, locations, and 5 people from Hyderabad. I have to take a sample now. So I have to proportionately take the sample, no? So that means out of 3, I'll take 1.
Okay.
And out of 5, I'll take 2 people proportionately. Say, for example, I have, say, in 100 people, I have 80 male and 20 female. So can I do a stratified sampling? Can I do a stratified sampling? 80 male and 20 female. So how will I go about then?
Maybe
It
we
has
put
to
in
be
One is
some
to
age
four.
criteria,
it
maybe.
has to be
Yep,
it has to be proportionate, right?
portion. Yep.
Yeah.
So maybe I will say, because it is a population of 100 and this is represented by 20 females and 80 males. So out of 20 females, I will take, say, maybe 5 here, and out of 80, then I will take, say, because I put as a ratio of 5, I will take how many people? 5 divided by 80, huh? Say about 15, right? So that's called stratified sampling. What is cluster sampling?
Cluster, it's
People
just
into
goes to
subgroups.
another
Okay.
particular area. We can say um
Subgroup should have similar character.
Very simple.
cla-
Say, for
cla-
example, very nice, like say
particular
your
age group.
organization has 10 your organization has 10 offices in 10 different cities. Got it? Your organization has 10 offices in 10 different cities. Okay. Now you have to do a survey. Okay. Now you can't travel to all the 10 cities. Huh? And all the 10 cities have roughly the same number of employees with the similar roles. So what will you do then? You can actually use a cluster analysis, saying that, hey, I will use out of this 10, maybe 3 or 4. We do that, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes. Are you with me?
Yes, yes.
Cluster analysis. Let us just go back to saying what is random sampling? From a class of 50 people, I'll just randomly pick up some 5, 6 people for 10 people randomly. There is no order at all. Got it?
Mm.
Okay. Systematic sample will be
In some order.
saying that there is some order. Either if there is just one population of all female employees, I'll say at every five numbers, fifth employee I will take. Or if there are 800, like there are females and there are also males, I will take a proportionate sample representing them. And cluster sample will be if I have similar kind of employees and similar roles, and I'm not able to actually take data from all of them, then I will say, okay, fine, I'll take at least 3 or 4 samples, okay, to represent that. So this is important. You need to understand sampling method as well. Sometimes when you have huge population, say for example, if you are a BPO or even if you are in infrastructure, different locations, so you need to take the right kind of samples. Okay. Yeah. um, to give you a little spice and to give you a little to spike up your interest. Very interesting. You all want, how can we use analytics, um, in for interviewing to find out who has which interviewer has to be given interviewing skills. The L&D person has to give interviewing skills, send him to an interviewing skills training program. How will you do that? Say, for example, in your organization, you have um, interviewers, say 5 interviewers. Now you want to first of all find out who are your bad interviewers and who are your good interviewers. How will you do? What will you do? How will you go about? Any clue?
I mean, the rating patterns, the past hiring data. I mean, if anything that comes out under the review period
Okay,
for
somebody
business,
said past hiring data. So
PIP
what data in
cases.
specific, what will you take?
So when there are a number of PIP cases which has been undergone similar interview panel or skill
Mhm.
validation issues that came forward, or the similar person came forward, this person not good, let's work on a replacement or
Okay.
something.
Okay. So just look at this case study. Very interesting, huh? So Ashok and Deepak are 2 recruiters of the same company. Okay. Ashok is a person who is always boasting about his recruitment skills, interviewing skills, and he says he has a fixed set of questions which he asks the candidates, and he knows by the look and feel and shaking of the hand, he can make out whether this guy can work or not, and is very quick to judge. And in the immediately as soon as the candidate enters the room, he in the 5 minutes he meets him, he knows whether he should be selecting or not. Okay, he's one of them.
Right.
Now there's another guy, Deepak, who's a quiet person, who will ask questions to the applicant. He'll analyze the body language, and he also looks at all the interest and the potential he has, and he has different questions. Looks at the job description, and then he has framed the question, planned the question, everything. Now, the company wants to know who is a better interviewer, who needs training. So here, what we can do is use HR analytics to understand who is a better interviewer. Okay. And then the person who's not a good interviewer, you can send him for training. Now, what does one do typically? What kind of a data will you take? Say, for example, A, B, C, D, F, G are the employees who've been hired by this company and who are interviewed by Mr. Ashok. Okay. So when you are interviewing, you have something called rating while interviewing. Do you also have rating? All of you, when you're interviewing or your interviewers, hiring managers interview, so in that statement, they will write, right? There is a rating, no? Interview rating? Yes or no?
Yes.
Huh? Yeah. Yeah. Now, taking those same employees, you're collecting this data, and after 6 months, maybe you're also collecting the performance rating data also, which is easily available in the documents. Go to the business head or go to the business manager, wherever this person is working, and you can get the performance rating. Month on month, you can get the performance rating. Got it? So you're taking the performance rating. Now what will you do? Very simple. The HR analytics gives you a very interesting tool called correlation. Have you heard of correlation?
Yeah.
Yeah. That means what is correlation? Correlation. There are two variables. Is there a relation between two variables? What variables are here? One is the rating of the interviewers and the other is the performance rating. Right? So is there a relation between the interviewer's rating and the performance rating? So what do we need to do simply? Guys, just do a correlation and you can then get something like this. Okay, I'll show you. I'll work it out for you and show you. Now, when we did the correlation, this, I want you to copy this data quickly. Anybody who can just quickly copy this data, who wants to be kind, then I'll ask him to share the screen on an Excel sheet. It should be taking just 1 minute or 2 minutes. Anybody volunteering?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Who? Mahendra Kumar or who is it? Who
Okay,
is
I can
doing
do
it?
it.
Who is it? Who is doing it?
I'm Devendra.
Okay, Devendra. Yeah, please do it. Then I will close my screen. Yeah, the rest of the participants. Can you see this? Can you see his screen?
Yes, we can.
Yes,
All
ma'am.
of you? Yeah.
Mhm.
So now, so what is, if you see that process, so what is that we want to look at? What is our intent? What is the intent here?
To see who is the better hiring manager. I mean, the better interviewer.
Who needs interview skill training, right?
Yeah.
Because obviously, if my interviewers are not able to interview candidates well, it has an impact on the performance. No, because I'll be recruiting candidates who are not up to the mark. Got it? Okay. So I have collected what kind of a data? I've collected interview scores data and also performance rating data. Done? Now, what do you need to do? Is that Devendra, right? Devendra, go to formula. Okay, insert function. Okay, now there is a window here, right? So what you need to do is just ask for Corel, Correl. And instead of doing that also, you can just put it there. And if you say go, it will come automatically there. Can you see Corel? Now click on that and go. Say go. Okay.
Nemal, I'm unable to see your screen right now.
No. This is not my screen. Devendra's screen. Is everybody able to see this?
Yes.
Yes.
I can see that. Yeah.
Who is not able to see? Avai Khan?
Yeah.
Avais?
Yeah.
Can you see Avais? Huh?
Just a second.
Yeah,
I'm
please.
just refreshing just 1 minute.
Okay. Now pull Devendra, just pull your this one so that you can see the data. No, pull your window.
I
to
can
the-
see it now. Yes.
Yeah. So pull your data now. Array 1. Here, array 1 and array 2 can be any. Okay. So array 1, you can take the click on that and now yeah, take that data there. Now array 2. Okay. Now say okay. Okay. Now put this figure here. 0 point. No, can you? Because it's gone there. Okay. So what is this? This number 0 point. We will round it off 0.65. Okay. 0.64. Okay. So what is this? This is the correlation coefficient. You can just write it there. Correlation coefficient. Okay. Now you may ask, what is this correlation coefficient? What relation does it have? Now, what does it mean? I will literally show you, see how it will look. What does it happen? That means there is a correlation. When the interviewing scores has a correlation with the performance rating. Okay. So when Ashok interviewed, there is a correlation of his interviewing with the performance rating. And the correlation is 0.64, which is a positive number. The maximum correlation it can have, you can write it there, is what? 1. What is it? The maximum correlation you can have is 1. And 0 means no correlation. All right. And it can go between -1 to +1. What? It can
That
go
means
between
the negative
-1
correlation.
to +1. So when it is +1, that means when 1 is going up, one variable is going up, even the other variable is going up. But when it is negative, when one variable is going up, the other variable is coming down. Can you think of some data where it can happen like this, negative correlation? In any of your work processes? The more I train people, they will reduce their mistakes. So that means more the training hours, reduction of errors. I'm just giving you an example of negative correlation. Okay. Now, you can also see graphically how it will look, the graph. To do that graphically, what you need to do is, please select both the variable data. Devendra, select the data? Yeah, great. So select the data. Only the, no. Why do you want to select A, B, C, D? No, just select interview data and performance rating data. Okay. Now, go to insert. All right. And insert, click, and then charts. Insert charts. You can see charts. I can see charts. Can you see charts? No. No to get. There's a no, go to scatter charts. Click on that. That's there if you can see. Yeah, click on that. And insert the first one, scatter. Yeah, pull it the other side. Pull it a little other side. Okay, pull it the other side. Now click on any of the blue dots. And then right click. And then you will get add a trend line. And format trend line, you can actually remove it so that we can see, everybody can see the trend line. Guys, can you see the trend line? Can you see the graph? All of you, where are you? I can't.
Yes.
What can you read when you see this graph? All analytic person, because when you are going to do visualization of line charts, graph charts, you will be doing all this. So what can you see? How will you read this line? That means what? When your interview data is, scores are going up, even the performance rating is going up. Can you see? Can you see the graph which is going up? Right? And that is why it is there as what? 0.64, which is a good correlation, positive correlation. Are you with me, guys? Which is a positive correlation. Now, Devendra, can you close your screen so that I will give now quickly one activity. I will want. Okay. Now, quickly, all of you, can you put this data in the Excel sheet and do this correlation and also the scattergram? 1 minute. Yeah. So what will you do now? Quickly, quickly. I'll keep guiding you. Tell me quickly. You'll have to
I have to
calculate
go.
the correlation. So what will you
Correlation
do?
first.
Go to formula, insert
Formulas.
formula, function, formula, insert function,
Insert function.
insert function. No,
Insert function.
Then go to Corel. And click. Then okay. Yeah. Say go, it will come. Now,
Okay.
now okay. All right. Now it is okay. Now it is asking for two kinds of data, era 1, era 2. So, so just click on that and pull that data. No. Click on that and pull interviewing rating. Okay. Now again, click on that and pull performance rating. Pull performance rating.
Okay.
Then say okay. Yeah. Where's your?
Oh, it came here actually. No,
No problem. So 0.110, which is what? A very negligible, because 0 is no correlation. So 0.1 is absolutely is as good as no correlation at all. That means it's a bad interviewer. Now look at the graph. What will you do? Select the data. First select the data. Yeah, good. Now go to insert. And then scatter. Yep. First one. Yeah. Now click on any of the blue data points. Then right click. Then do a right click of your. Then add trend line. So can you see your trend line? While there was correlation and you could see that line, here it's almost like a straight line, right?
Yes, ma'am.
No correlation at all.
Okay.
Okay? Clear?
Clear, ma'am.
I hope even the others have got, whoever has not done, in the sense that is very clear. Okay. Yeah. Can you close your screen so that
I'll share it.
So for this scatter chart thing, I have to select both the data ranges together.
Yes. Select the data because you need to have data of two variables. Okay.
Right.
All right. So 1 second, guys. Yeah. Okay. If you see now, you'll see that this is what I think Avinash got, and the earlier one it was like this, right? Okay. I in fact wanted to show you only things because now I have a list of metrics. Okay, I'm going to send these metrics. Just because these are all just going through metrics for recruitment, metrics for performance management, metrics for compensation, etc. And how does the dashboard look like? So this PPT will be sent to you. Please have a look at it, and we will be delving deeply into all recruitment, performance management. We'll be doing much more activity in terms of using data. Okay, so therefore I didn't want to run you through the content as such. Okay, guys. So with this, I think we will actually close the session. And if you have any questions, please feel free to